Hello. Hey guys. Did you enjoy your lunch? Excellent. So I'm Lindsay with Mortgage Investors Group. This is Rachel and Addison. I don't know where he went. Addison is missing, but he is also with Mortgage Investors Group. And we're very excited that you're here today. There he is. And there's Addison. Everyone give him a hand. So, was it January, Addison? We went to a CMBA meeting, which is Chattanooga Mortgage Bankers, and had a speaker from Southwestern Consulting come. And as he was talking, I was like, everyone at Keller needs to hear this. And I was like, we've got to get them on the books because this will absolutely help them. It kind of gets you motivated, gets you excited, gives you some new things to think about. So it's been great. So we've been talking to John, and he has tailored this directly for you guys. He's been talking to Jay. We're very, very excited. So I can't wait for you to hear what he has to say. So our guest speaker today is John Owens. John's a professional sales and leadership coach at Southwestern Consulting, the sales and leadership coaching division of the Southwestern family of companies. He's not only a practitioner of everything he teaches, but also passionate about sharing the secrets of top-producing salespeople with you. He started his career in sales while still in college, working for Southwestern Advantage, and became one of the top producers selling educational books door-to-door as an intern. He spent over a decade and a half as a top producer in real estate, automotive, direct sales, and wholesale. In that time, he has knocked on over 3,000 cold doors, conducted over 100,000 sales phone calls, 5,000 face-to-face meetings, and served nearly 6,000 families by being a top producer in sales. Laura Boggs, a client, says, John's ideas are proven, practical, and easy to implement. Best of all, they get results. John really makes you think. Today, John will be with us for the next hour or so, focusing on what separates top producers from average producers in today's market. As part of promoting the professional sales coaching program, Top Producer's Edge and Manager's Edge. Give a warm welcome to John Owens.
Thank you. Everybody give it up for Lindsay. Let's go. Thank you. That was perfect. That was excellent. That was exactly how I wrote it. So, yeah, guys, thanks for being here today. I know it's optional. I know it's in your best interest to be here, but you know, we didn't just come for the free lunch, I hope, right? So we're going to be going over habits of top producers. I think I've got it here and here. I'm going to be flipping through, and this is a workshop, guys. This is an opportunity for you to workshop these ideas with you and your business. Be a little bit selfish. This is a little bit about me. I'm not important, but my phone number is. So I want everybody to take out their phone right now. If you don't have a phone, we got a problem. And that's my cell phone number. That's my cell phone. I want you to text me your name and your favorite. Is it GIF or GIF? Okay, whatever. Text it to my number. That's how I roll here. That's how I know who's here. If you guys don't know already, if I've already told you, great. If not, I'm a huge Ted Lasso fan. Anybody Ted Lasso fans in the room? Let's go. If you don't know, you don't know. You need to watch it. You need to watch it. It's great. Very inspirational stuff. Ted Lasso 2 is coming out soon. So does everybody have that? No? Okay, I'll go back. There we go. So today we're going to be talking about habits of top producers. Are we good? Everybody good? Great. Awesome. So we've designed this workshop just for you in mind. Like I said, I talked to Lindsay about this. I talked to Jay about this. And I said, what's going to be impactful for this Keller Williams branch to hear? We've done a lot of Keller Williams. I'm personally from Greenville, South Carolina, about 4 hours away. Let's go. Yes. Go Tigers. All right. Here we go. I'm a Clemson alum, so you might hear that a couple more times a day. But we're going to be sharing some awesome ideas today, some technical sales training ideas that you're going to leave with. And then at the end, we're also going to be talking about coaching. We're at the heart of what we do. We're a coaching program. We do coaching. And I'll get into this here in a second, but we've been around for a long time, and it's not the John Owens show. It's the Southwestern show. We've been doing this for 170 years, so we'll get into it. So like I said, habits of top producers. Who in here woke up this morning and said, I want to be a mediocre producer? Nobody, right? You woke up saying, I want to be a top producer. I want to be great at what I do. Hopefully you didn't wake up saying, I want to be a mediocre version of myself. The biggest thing that you can do is have a goal. Does everybody have a goal in mind? Write your goal down right now. If you see the page that says, I think it's 58, that's your note-taking page. If you would open it up, take some notes. A lot of people take notes on their phone too. That's great too. You see a triangle on there? Great. The one on this one, borrow that from you. This one here, this is your note-taking form. On this side, if I do a really good job today, what do you think I'm going to ask for at the end? Introductions. Referrals and introductions. So if you could, bend it here at the seam. This is perforated. And just actually tear it apart, right? Just like this. Just like that. So if you would tear that. You need one? Addison, do we have any more? So we'll put that introductions aside for referrals. I work on referral basis. We got a hand up over here as well. So everybody on the notes side, maybe in the margins even, write down a goal that you have this year. It's 2026. We're about to be in Q2. Maybe it's a monetary goal. Maybe it's a volume goal. Maybe it's to spend more time with your family. Whatever that goal is, it should be personal to you. Write it down. And while you're writing it down, I need to ask you guys, do you have a plan to hit it? Do you actually have a plan? Or is it just a goal like a dream? Do you have somebody holding you accountable to hitting that goal? So, in working with thousands of people and hundreds of organizations across dozens of countries, we've figured out that to be at the best of your ability, you have to master a few different areas. So on the right side of the triangle, write the word skills. We're going to be talking about a skills habit. So not just to hit your goal, but to absolutely crush your goal, write down the word skills. What are some skills that we need to have in the game of sales? Say that? Follow up. There we go. Say that again. Okay. Emotional IQ. There we go. A little bit of EQ. Communication. Patience. That sounds like that hit a nerve. What else? Some sales skills. I'm not talking about real estate skills. What are some sales skills that you probably need to be successful? Initiative. Let's go. All right. Negotiation. Asking great questions. We got a closer. We got a closer in the room. All right. So we'll be talking about different skill sets today. We're going to talk about the cycle of the sale. We're going to be talking about objection handling because, we never get those, right? No. We're going to be talking about closing. We're going to be talking about asking great questions, all the different skills that you need to be a great salesperson. Write down the word motivation down here on the bottom. The second area that you have to master is motivation. Self-motivation, self-discipline. What are some thoughts on that? Somebody chime off on that. Mindset, let's go. What else? Drive? Did I hear drive? There we go. Okay. What about purpose? I was just thinking of that, right? So you got to have a long-term vision. You got to have a purpose bigger than a paycheck. You got to have an attitude of gratitude. You got to have some short-term goals. And then you got to have some amazing self-talk. And we're going to be digging into that a little bit here today as well. This says systems. I love systems. I also love the word strategies here. We're going to be talking about systems and strategies. It's not enough to be great at your sales skills. And it's not enough to just be a motivated person. You're limited by your systems. You're limited by what you can do by the systems that you have in place in your business. What are some systems in sales that you guys use? Time blocking. Let's go. CRMs. Yeah. Email. That's a basic system, right? What about your sales metric systems? Right? Sometimes we need to know exactly what we're selling and why we're selling, and if we're behind the 8 ball or whatever, we have to lean into our systems. And there's so many more systems. And that's actually the reason why a lot of people get into coaching with us, is because of our systems. Here's the name of the game. Here's the true name of the game. It's habits. So in the middle of your triangle, write the word habits. This is the game, guys. What are some habits that you've created that made 2025 happen to you? Yeah? What are some habits that you're working on that's going to make 2026 even better? Right? We've developed good habits and we've developed bad habits. What we're truly about. And the way that we do that at Southwestern is through accountability. Who woke up this morning saying, man, I just can't wait to be held accountable? I'll wait. Now, if you would have rewind the tape 15 years ago, and you would have zoomed in on old John Owens, and you said, hey, John, I'm going to hold you accountable, I would have said, good luck. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Nobody holds me accountable. It just doesn't happen. I can figure it out on my own. Do I have any John Owenses in here? Yeah. So when I leaned into accountability, when I actually got the right accountability, not just my old football coach yelling and screaming at me, which that was great, by the way, I started to grow. I started to do better, and that's what we do at Southwestern. Now, I didn't just make this up last night, last week, last year. This is the methodology of our parent company, Southwestern Advantage. Has anybody heard of Southwestern before? Raise your hands, show of hands. Nope. Cool. We're based out of Nashville, Tennessee, and we're that crazy college internship program where we knock on doors all summer. We get shipped off to a different part of the country, and we can't go home to mama, and we knock on doors and we sell educational books. And they've been doing that for 170 years now. It just rolled over 170 years. And about 2 decades ago, we had big companies like IBM, Bankers Life, Keller Williams. They would put people through our college training program because they were like, man, if it's good enough for them, maybe it's good enough for my salespeople. And then we were like, there's something here. There's something here that we need to start taking to the private sector. So since then, we've been involved with a lot of different companies. And what's not on here is the hundreds of thousands of mom and pop shops that we've also helped. So you don't have to be a big name to work with Southwestern, but we've been coaching and training folks since 1855. That's before the light bulb was invented. So we have over 150 coaches. We're in 15 different countries. That's a little bit about us. Now, wouldn't you think that over that amount of time, we've figured out a few things about salespeople. We've probably learned a few things from some top producers as well, right? So today I'm going to share a few of those habits with you, all right? And we're going to discuss a skill habit, a motivational habit, and a systems habit. When applied, it's going to help you take your business to the next level. Ready to dig in? All right. So on line 1, we're going to write down students of their game. Top producers are students of their game. What does that mean? Always learning. Let's go. What else? Yeah, check your ego at the door. Let's go. What else? Challenge. There we go. Top producers are students of their game. Did I see a hand over here? No? Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who in here, raise your hand if you played a sport growing up. Raise your hand if you played an instrument growing up. Let's go. Just so they're not left out. Who was a cheerleader? That's a sport too, guys. That is a sport too. Just want y'all to know that. I get that every time. That's a sport too. How many hours would you say that you practice that sport, that instrument, that cheerleading? How many hours would you say, maybe you started t-ball like I did and went all the way through high school, right? Front yard, backyard, side yard, driveway, before school, after school, 2-a-days in the summertime, weightlifting camp. How many hours did you dedicate to practicing your sport? A lot? Hundreds of hours? Thousands? What would the impact have been if you would have said, hey, coach, you know what? It's all good. I don't need to practice anymore. I'm just going to show up for the game. What would your coach have said? Let's go. What would your coach have said? Thanks for coming out. Yeah, see you later, right? Even if your coach would have allowed you to play, what would the impact have been on your game if you would have done that? Not good, right? Yeah. Lose. Especially if you're in a team sport, you wouldn't be pulling your weight, right? How many of us are doing the same thing professionally? Right? How many of us are in the pros, which we all are? We're in the pros now, and we're showing up and we're practicing on our real life clients. Right? We're not taking time in the background to practice and hone our skill. That's what it means to be a student of the game. Now, we've been going through the motions. Hey, I'm going to set the appointment. We get the same objections over and over again. We say the same thing over and over again. And then we expect different results. What's that called? Insanity. Amen. And we don't take the time to hone our craft. What's that costing you? And in your coaching program, that's exactly what we do. We set up a practice field, if you will. We allow you to go through your closes. We allow you to hone your skills and get great at your craft. We allow you to mess up, fail a bunch. And then that way, when you're getting in front of a client, you got your best foot forward. Is that great? Now, if I could teach you something, a couple of ideas on some selling skills, would that be helpful? All right, we're going to do that today. So everybody in here, if you've been in sales for more than like 5 minutes, you've heard of the cycle of the sale, okay? The words might be a little bit different than what you heard initially, but it's the same thing. Also, I want to challenge everybody in this room. When we go through the cycle of the sale here, there's going to be some areas where you're really good. And then there's going to be an area where you're like, I have some clients exit my sphere during this step. Is that fair? All right, first step, pre-approach. Anybody got any idea about what's pre-approach? Nope. Preparation? Nice. Yes. Anything else come to mind? Before it, yeah. We're not even talking to them yet. What are some things that we need to know before the encounter? Yep, there we go. What would be the ammunition that we need? Say that again. That's exactly right. That's what pre-approach is. We need to know about our clients before we go and approach them, right? The information that you get, hopefully it's from a referral or an introduction, but even if you get a Zillow lead, whatever, you're able to look them up, see if they got a LinkedIn. Maybe they got Facebook or something. That'll tell you a lot about the person before you even meet them. Now, I will challenge you though, don't let it give you any kind of negative bias about them. use this not for you, use this to serve them. Use this to build rapport, because we can always be building more rapport. Now, the approach. The approach is simple. It's literally how we talk to them. Whether we pick up the phone and we dial them, we shoot them an email, we meet them in person, however we approach the person, this is how we make initial contact. What's the goal of the approach? Yes. Score. Say it again. I heard something. Build rapport. Yep. I would say we're trying to make an introduction, right? We're trying to actually introduce the idea of working with us. We're trying to set the meeting. Most of you who have ever heard of the cycle of the sale, you've heard of this as the discovery meeting, right? Or the needs assessment. It's all the same thing. We're introducing the idea of working with us. Whether they're looking to list or whether they'll work with us if they're going to buy a house, work with us on a loan, whatever. This is where we put our best foot forward and we ask a ton of questions. How easy is this step to just skip over? Right? I see no, that's good. Then we go into presentation. We start presenting ourselves. We start, especially if you're trying to get them as a listing, why it would be great for them to work with us, right? We present those ideas. If you're on the buy side, you're showing houses, you're presenting houses. If you're in the mortgage world, you're presenting, a loan package, you're presenting rate, you're presenting a lot of different things. This is where you actually talk about facts, features, benefits, price, all of that. And if we've done that well, what are we doing next? Closing, right? Who, besides this young lady over here, who else is a closer? Closer? Nice. What is a close? Anybody have a yes? Okay. Okay. Closing question? Yeah. Oh, okay. Great. Yeah. It's agreement. What if I challenged you and I told you it was just a point of decision? What if I told you that closing actually is just a point of decision? If for whatever reason you decided at that point, we were working together, you've shown me some options, and you as the salesperson said, John, I don't think we should move forward together. Have we made a decision? Yeah. And at that point, am I closed? Heck yeah, I'm closed. I ain't working with you. Yeah. So when we close, it can be a yes or a no, but never a maybe. Never let your closes be a maybe, because when somebody's on the maybe fence, that doesn't serve them. If they're stuck in the maybe mud, what generally happens? No movement. Yeah, no decision, no progress. Yeah. Does that serve them when we let them sit in the maybe mud? Heck no. So we're not doing that. Next step, maybe you didn't close them so well, but you still want to work with them. They're going to give you some objections. What do we do with an objection? Do we just grapple it like a bear? How do we handle objections? Thank you. Miss Sarah Barrett, let's go. Any other ideas with handling objections? Overcoming them? Yep. Ooh. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, right? That's what Mom always said. So to answer objections effectively, we actually have a proven formula, all right? And I can't go into all of it today, but it works. We have a proven formula. What you're going to do is it's actually its own little cycle, which is kind of neat. When you handle the objection, you're going to re-present and you're going to re-close them, maybe even a couple of times. But you have to find out what the real objection is first, right? Get curious, ask questions. And even if you've closed them, they're buying from you or they're not buying from you, what are we asking for at the end? Referrals. You guys are great. Let's go. Everybody in this room asks for referrals 100% of the time, right? Yeah? Well, then you're doing better than me. Great. Referrals is something we should ask for no matter if we do, if we serve them with something or if we don't. What's neat about this is one step feeds right into the next. One step feeds right into the next. And instead of it being a linear equation, we actually have a cycle. What a lot of salespeople always forget is that if you do this properly, your cycle actually speeds up. Because when we get to the referral spot, notice it has an S on the end of it. If it has an S on the end of it, hopefully we're getting 2, 3, 4. We're able to quintuple our business by just asking a simple question. Who else do you know that I should probably connect with? Top producers always ask, who do you know? Not, hey, who do you know that needs a house right now? But just who do you know that would be great to connect with? Because they're going to need a house eventually, right? Now, just by a show of hands, who here identified a step in this process where you could probably use just a little bit of improvement? Thank you. Thank you. Anybody brave enough to share which one it is? Referrals? Referrals? Say that again. Referrals? That's a big one. Let's go. You guys are about to sell a lot more. Now, out of these two steps here, which ones do you think are the most important? Top producers all agree that one is more important than the other. Which one do you think it is? Introduction. Anybody on the other party for presentation? No? Okay. So the introduction is the most important part. Why? Dictates how you present. Get you in the door. Need to get in the door. Yep. What else? Build trust. Say that again. Yeah. So if I just, dropped a whole bag of tricks on the table and I said, hey, I'm selling stuff. Pick one. Just pick it. What do you think they do? They say, no thanks, I'm good, right? But if we have a tailored presentation to exactly what they're looking for, it's hard to say no to that, right? Yeah. So, it's the introduction. Have you ever experienced this situation? I need to think about it. Or, can you call me in 6 months? I need to talk to somebody. I need to talk to my preacher's dog. I don't know. My dad, let's go. Or, it's too expensive. Has anybody ever heard any of these, or is it just me? You guys too? Okay. Has anybody ever heard these in the same conversation? All at once? I have. So, in your coaching program, what they do is they help you figure out the psychology behind why they're saying these things, and if they're actual objections, or if they're smoke screens, or if there's something that they're just putting up just to buy themselves some time. And we need to get curious. We need to get curious around why they're saying the things that they're saying, right? So, I'm going to give you a tool today. I want you to write this down. Write down the word clasp. C-L-A-S-P. This is a framework during the introduction stage. We've not shown them a single house. We haven't even figured out if you're a good fit to list their house. We haven't even figured out, sure we want to, but we're not even there yet. But clasp is exactly where we need to be. So who here has a watch on the wrist? Hold it up in the air. Now swing your arm like a crazy person. Did your watch go flying across the room? Why? Got a clasp. Let's go. Now, when you use this framework, the same thing happens. They haven't signed on the dotted line yet. They haven't seen anything yet, but they're with you. They're not going anywhere. All right? So, first one, C stands for currently. And everything here has a question mark after it. What are some questions that you can ask during the introduction stage of the cycle to sale that tells you about their current situation? Yep. What are some questions that you normally ask? Yeah, that's a good one. Broad stroke. What else? That's a good one. Okay? Yep. How did we get here? How did we even get here? Yes. Yeah. Where are we going? Yep. Jump on, let's go. So these are some things that we need to ask so that way we can even figure out if we're in the right boat or not. Okay? Now, the next one is like. Maybe they're in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and they've told you, we're looking for something bigger, or something smaller, or closer to downtown, or whatever from your currently questions. Maybe they told you who their previous real estate agent was that sold them that 3-2. Why would we be hesitant as salespeople to ask what they liked about working with that other real estate agent? Yeah, that's what you want to do. I heard over here, say it again. Yeah, we don't want to do that, do we? Salespeople always skip this step. This tells you why they're going to buy. And it doesn't matter if it's real estate, mortgage, if I'm selling Verizon wireless cell phones, it doesn't matter. We skip this step because if we point out to them what they liked about their previous scenario, their previous house, they might stay, right? That's some head trash that we have as salespeople that we need to get over, right? This actually, it does 2 things. One, it tells you why they buy, how you can serve them. Number 2, it's a little bit of reverse psychology. Humans are naturally negative. You can say I'm a glass half full kind of guy all the time, but we naturally go negative, okay? They're going to automatically lead you into the alter phase. Alter's next. And we as salespeople crush it at alter. We do such a great job finding out what the problem is. But if we ask like first, they're going to tell us, well, you know what? He was able to get me in that house as quick as I could, and like he was, it was awesome experience, except for his communication was terrible. Or, whatever the change might be. So now the alter, if they tell you what they like, the alter tells you why they're going to buy from you. Okay? Now, have you ever been in this situation? I think I heard it earlier, where they said, you know what? I really want to move forward, but I need to talk to my dad. My dad's going to come up here with a level, slap it against the wall, right? Does that ever happen to anybody? Or trip up. Let's go. So that's the signer, guys. That's the signer. We need to, before we show them anything, before we've presented anything, we need to figure out who the third base coach is. We need to figure out who's not going to necessarily co-sign with them, but who's actually going to help them make the decision. Why would that be helpful? Yeah. Anybody else got an opinion on that? They can, yeah. Has anybody ever gone to show a house and you're just meeting them there instead of driving them there, and then like the clampets just up and they all just come pouring out of the vehicle? Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great sign. That's a buying sign. It is, because when everybody shows up, they can see their whole family there. They can see everybody there. You want to, and especially the ringleader, if it's mom or dad or whoever, we want to get them on our side as salespeople because we want them to know that they're safe, their kid's safe, whoever they're talking about is safe, and they're making a great choice. So that's the signer. And then lastly, we're going to paint the picture. I call this the you told me's. And I literally say that to any customer. I say, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, you told me that you're currently in this. You currently have a backyard that's fenced in. You currently this, currently that. You also told me that you really like this about it. You like this, you like this. And you also told me that you would change a few things. You would change this and change this and change this, using their words. And let me ask you, if I could do that for you, then would it make sense to just let me earn your business? What do you think they say 99% of the time? Yeah. Now, have they signed on the dotted line? No, but are they with you? Yeah, absolutely. So that's paint the picture and that's clasp. What did everybody think about that? Is that a good framework? Is everybody going to use that? Awesome. So that's student of the game. I want to talk about the second one. Number 2, it's a motivational habit. Some of us in here need to hear it because we constantly go negative. It's guarding our self-talk. Because if I've already heard a few things out loud, God, I can't imagine what you say to yourself on the inside. And for every salesperson that I've ever peeled the curtain back on and, talked about motivation with, there's some self-talk problems. What are some negative self-talks that you've heard today? Yeah, today, 15 minutes ago, right now. Ooh, baby. What's another one? Come on, safe space. Yeah, that's a good excuse. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? What are some words that we need to eradicate from our vocabulary? In my family growing up, I'm from the South, Mama said, can't, never, could, right? Won't, never, would. Didn't, never, did. So the biggest thing here is what we do inside our minds. Sometimes we say it out loud. We're saying things like, I'd be successful, I'd be in better shape, I'd be, you name it, but. Maybe it was getting out of the bed the first thing this morning. You think, I'm going to get out of bed at 4 a.m., join the 4 a.m. club. I hear some negative self-talk about that. Yeah. See, well, I have a 6-year-old, and he gets on the end of my bed at 6 a.m., and he jumps off the top rope and just lands a bow right in my ribs. So, and this is negative self-talk. This is the rationalization. Heavy emphasis on the lies that we tell ourselves, guys. These are the lies that we've heard so many times from the best salesman in the world, Mr. M. Do you guys know what Mr. M stands for? Mr. Mediocrity. And Mr. M, he's tiny. He's a little short guy. But he sits right here on our shoulder. And Mr. M, he's got this megaphone. And he's right there in our ear. And he gives us all the excuses in the world as to why we can't do something. What do we need to do to Mr. M? Yeah. The best thing you can do, first thing you wake up in the morning, take Mr. M, throw him on the floor, and you step on him. Yeah, you got it. Let's go, girl. You step on him, and then you start laughing because it's just so silly, right? We're having a good time first thing in the morning, and you're crushing Mr. Mediocrity. The cool thing here is, and this is the last step to this, is you're going to tell Mr. Mediocrity what you're going to do. You're going to say, I'm going to crush it today. I have 3 meetings. It's going to be great. I've got 5 showings. Here it is. And you need to obliterate Mr. Mediocrity. That's one thing you can do here. What are some other rationalizations what are some other lies that we tell ourselves? Ooh, I would be selling houses, but it's January. School's about to be out. Ain't nobody buying a house when school's out. What else? Why did we have to bomb Iran? Those rates are going up. Dang it, man. I would sell a house, but we bombed Iran. I guess I'm off the hook now. Right? The coolest thing ever is you are telling yourself a story. Mama always said, don't tell me no stories, right? What did she mean by that? Any Southerners in the room? Lies. That's right. We're telling ourselves a story every time we say that to ourselves. One way to combat this, besides kicking the crap out of Mr. Mediocrity, is to rely on confidence anchors. Everybody in this room has been through a lot. Whether you think you have or you haven't, you have. Everybody has confidence anchors that we need to rely on. These are the stories that we can replace in our head, and we can rewrite our own script every day when we wake up. What's a good example of a confidence anchor? I am statement. Let's go. Those are good affirmations. What if, what if you grew up poor, single wide, single mom, first person to go to college in your whole family? Does that sound pretty specific? That's one of mine. It's a confidence anchor. I'm the first person in my family to do that. It was great. It was awesome. Now I'm here. Everybody in here has a confidence anchor. You just have to tap into it. You have to carry it with you. And then when you're feeling some type of way, say, I crushed that. I sold 10 million in volume last year. I did 20 million. I did whatever, right? And that's your confidence anchors. Any questions on confidence anchors? I know sometimes it can be a little fuzzy. Is that pretty clear? Let's go. Now, last thing I'll say about motivation is when you have beliefs in something, we're not just born with beliefs. Beliefs get injected to us as we grow up. And I invite you guys all to break some belief barriers in yourselves. Because beliefs lead to thoughts, thoughts lead to feelings, feelings lead to actions, and then actions lead to results. There's only one uncontrollable thing in that sentence. What is that one uncontrollable thing? Anybody want to take a stab at it? Yep. It's the end result. You actually, if you're just trying to control your results, you have zero control over your results. But you have control over your beliefs, thoughts, feelings, actions. And if you control those well enough, then what's going to happen to your results? Yeah. The scoreboard's going to be the scoreboard. The other team does score, right? So, guard your self-talk. Lastly, take action now. I prefer the word execute. Execute. Such a good word. Very short, to the point. Means take action. Top producers take action now. They execute. I want you to rank yourself and write your answer down in the margin. Rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. A 10 is somebody who plans their week well before their week starts. They actually know when they're going to have their meetings. They know what's going to be in between those meetings. They know when family time is going to be. They know when they're going to the lake, putting the boat in the water, how many lips they're going to rip out of the lake. They know who they're having coffee with that week, when they're going to send their emails, when they're going to prospect. They know everything about their week. Let me tell you what a 1 is. A 1 is a guy named David Fitz. He got into our coaching program. David Fitz is amazing. David Fitz was a dumpster fire. He had a to-do list that would morph into another to-do list. And he would be he was one of those guys that would get home at the end of the day. Maybe you guys can relate to this. But his family would say, "Hey, how was your day?" And he would say, "Man, it was busy, really busy." And, "Great, that's awesome. Sounds great. What's busy?" And he's like, "I can't tell you. I don't know." It was a blur. They're like, "Well, what did you do? Did you sell anything?" "Actually, no, but I was super slammed all day." And then he had immediate regret. David Fitz, before coaching, David would actually point his attention to the thing that was barking the loudest, shining the brightest. Everything was a dumpster fire for him. Everything. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Are you more of like a David Fitz, or are you playing everything out to a T? Anybody brave enough to share? Five. Let's go. Right in the middle. Yep. Yes. Tell me about it. Yes. 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 Yeah. Yep. And you're like, well, I just put the fire extinguisher down, and then I didn't do this, and then and then when you're at home with your family, maybe y'all can relate to this. This is what David did. He would basically be like, yeah, I'm listening, yeah, yeah, sure. But guess what he was doing? He was thinking about everything that he didn't do at work, and he was thinking about the 9 million other things that he had to do when he got back to work. Anybody relate to that? Yeah. He wasn't present with his family. I'm going to show you a tool here in just a second. I heard time blocking earlier, which is really cool. I'm going to show you something a little bit different. Today, I'm going to show you how you can move from whatever number that you put down, whether it was a 5, a 4, 6, an 8. Hopefully, I can move you closer to a 10. All right? You can take this today and run with it. Okay. Take action now. Question. What's the number one killer of success today? Social media, which is a form of, who said that? Extra points for Gryffindor. Let's go. Good job. Procrastination. There's a new kind of procrastination. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's called creative avoidance, where we creatively avoid what we probably should be doing just to reorganize our office again. Or, man, I just really got to sit, instead of making those dials like I said I was going to do, I got to shoot a couple of emails first. Or, you know what I could do for another cup of coffee real quick? I'm going to go get another cup of coffee. I'll be super productive, I promise, when I creatively avoid. Why are you shaking your head? I'm hitting a nerve. All right, good. So, what do top producers do? How do they overcome their procrastination tendencies? Stick to it. Say it again. Oh, that's good. Extra shots. Shots. Okay. So, answer is income producing activities. IPAs. And I'm not talking about the ones that you drink on Friday. It's not those IPAs. These are the things that you know that you should be doing first. These are, has anybody ever heard of the big rocks and the little pebbles and the sand? Right? Yeah, y'all seen that? These are the big rocks. These are the things that matter most. These are the things that you have to do. These are the big meetings that you have to take. These are the listing appointments. These are the show times that you have, whatever. These are your income producing activities. And then secondly, we want to think about our income producing activity adjacents, right? The things that support those income producing activities. We can't have those big meetings unless we have dial time, right? We have to call our leads. We have to follow up with folks. So that's how they take action. We have something kind of cool here. It's called the law of diminishing intent. And it's a disease that is running rampant in this room right now. Every person has this. The longer you wait to do something, the less likely you are to do it. Can anybody give me a good example of that? Ma'am. Yep. Right. You don't have time for that to kick in, right? But if it's 4:30 and you still haven't made your dials for the day, you picking that phone up, or does that phone weigh 10,000 pounds? Right? Okay. Other than this thing tasting like the rainbow here, this is an ideal schedule. And I know a lot of you guys are thinking, I heard time blocking. I'm going to give you another word as well. This is called categorical ideal scheduling. Write that down. Categorical ideal scheduling. In certain industries, whether it's insurance or mortgage or real estate, we know the things that we have to do every week. And then we have everything else with an asterisk next to it. But to be a professional in what we do, we know that we need to make dials, send emails, set appointments. We know the big things. So this is actually a mortgage guy that was in our coaching program. The other word that I'll put with this too is season. Your ideal schedule should be in a season, probably a month to 3 months, because your ideal schedule right now may not look like your ideal schedule in a little bit of time. It's good to reassess. What are some categories that stick out to you on the schedule? Shout them out. Exercise. Ma'am? Wind down. Why is that important? Okay. Ooh, family time. God forbid we get any of that. We got workout. It's a branch manager. So, ooh, self-development. So what's kind of neat is he never eats alone. He never eats alone. And if somebody ever wants to get on his schedule, he drags and drops them to the next available category spot. He goes, yeah, I meet with new people all the time. We usually do it over lunch. I've got Wednesday and Thursday open this week. What works best for you? And guess what? He just fills it up. Happy hour. There we go. These are the categories that you know. What's not on here? Give me an example of something that's not on here. Well, that's down here. That's down here. No doom scrolling. Yep. Anything else? Okay. So for this guy, he probably needs to put some of that on there if he has them. You would have that on yours, right? Yeah. Baseball season right now. What else? March Madness. Okay. It's a season. We're in that season right now. What if I would tell you that picking up my dry cleaning is not on there? Or, I don't know, cooking dinner. Yeah, that could be on there. Creating social media content. This should give you some ideas of the things that you would naturally do that you would put as a category on your schedule. And yeah, you would time block it off, but more importantly, your goal is to fill that time block with an activity, right? So it's not just a block time and then we're just going to show up and if we're going to do dial time at some point and we just show up and we're like, all right, I got my phone and I got my coffee and I just used the restroom and I think I'm good to go for the next hour. Who do I call? Before that, we're going to set aside an hour to create our list, right? So these categories are super important. There's two things that I want to impart on you about this. If you don't know what your ideal schedule looks like, if you don't know what yours looks like for you in the season that you're in, then you're never going to come close to hitting it. Never. I have one of these every single week. How many times do you think I've hit it 100%? 0. Goose egg. But I've come close. I've hit it like 80%, 90%. Things happen. The good thing is time flies, but you're the pilot. Okay? You can move things around. The second thing that I'll impart on you is the amount of busy work or doom scrolling or whatever always expand to the amount of time that you allow for it. So if you're not planning your time accordingly, like a top producer would, then if you have a free spot open here, it's so easy to just pick up that phone, right? Top producers execute. Okay. The good news is that all three of these are totally controllable. As we move forward to the next part of the workshop, we land this plane, have an awesome day, get out of here, all that good stuff. I want you to think about what's the one that resonated with you today? Let me ask you, which one resonated with you? Raise your hand. Ma'am? Take action. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah, the thing that you've procrastinated on, and then it took you 15 minutes to do, and you're like, why did I do that? Why did I wait? Yeah. Exactly. Who else? Ooh, let's go. Thank you. Who else? Nobody wants to work on it? Ma'am? Yeah. Doing it. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. All of this kind of folds into itself. So, I've got a really cool exercise that talks about perspective. We talked about a goal at the beginning of this. Imagine you're in like a forest full of trees, and your goal is somewhere out there. How likely are you to see your goal right now? But if I picked you up 40,000 foot in the air and I said, there's your goal, and here's your map to get there, and here's some tools, then that would be good perspective, right? So, I'm going to read you a sentence. And then I'm going to ask you a question. So you don't have to write it down. Just look at it, and I'm going to read it to you. Finished files are the result of years of scientific study combined with the experience of many years. How many F's were on that screen? How many F's? Take a guess. 8, okay. 7, okay. Any other guesses? I've heard it all, don't worry. How many F's were on that screen? Oh, I'll show the answer, but I want 2 more answers. 12, okay. 10, 3, okay. We got a good enough spread. It's 6. It's 6. But you didn't even know what you were looking for initially, right? You didn't have any perspective. We didn't know what was happening. We just kind of read a sentence. What's even more neat, is phonetically, the letter F and of sounds like a V, so we don't even count that when we're hearing it, right? So I get a lot of 3s. That is the power of perspective. If you don't even know where you're going with your goal, what you're doing, then how are you going to get there? If you don't have somebody holding you accountable to get there, are you just going to walk around the woods for a while? Now, if I show of hands, who had fun with me here today? Yeah? All right, more importantly, who learned a little something? Let's go. And to point out, who in here probably think it's a good idea to at least learn what this coaching thing is, right? Okay. So I'm going to share some details with you about our program real quick and how you can kind of get started. There's 3 core benefits to our coaching program, but before I get into that, what do all these folks have in common? Top of the game, successful. We got some dead ones up there. Maybe I should update my slide. I heard a guy say the other day, he goes, these are the GOATs, right? Greatest of all time. What else do they have in common? They all have had a coach or coaches. Michael Jordan, the greatest free throw shooter of all time, he had a coach, just a free throw coach, that would tell him where he could improve. He also had Phil Jackson, which was his head coach, and whatever Phil Jackson said went. But, and then whatever Michael said went. But they all had coaches. They all had perspective. Top producers all have coaches. So the 3 reasons why people get into coaching is you're going to make more money. I'll say it for the folks in the back, you're going to make more money. How nice is that, right? So I can go ahead and just, that feels good. You're going to increase your production and your income by 46%. And these numbers here, these are actually self-reported from our clients. You're going to multiply your time by 58%. We had a coaching client CEO of a gym. He actually, in the first 3 months of coaching, he actually found an extra 100 hours in his schedule. I don't know about you guys, but I would do a lot with an extra 100 hours. And then lastly, you're going to increase your confidence. When you're growing, you feel great. When you're not, you don't. 32% is what's reported. I always like showing this guy because he's got a cool name. This is Michael Strahan. He looks different than the other Michael Strahan. But this guy is an agent with Eschenball Land Company. What's cool about him is he said that his coach helped him with skills. And once he put that skill in place, it became a habit. And then he was able to put another skill in place, and it became a habit. And then it would compound and get another one and get another one. And before he knew it, his pipeline was robust. And, you know, when you get ready to take your business to the next level, you should get a coach. This is Bryce. Bryce runs L&L Roofing in Florida. We coach roofers too. He is going to take over the state of Florida, I have no doubt. This guy is one of the smartest guys I've ever met, and I can't believe he sells roofs, to be honest with you. He's amazing. He used me as his coach just to figure out what leadership was. He was always a great salesperson, but he needed to become a better leader. And we all know that just because you did the thing well doesn't mean you're going to lead people to do the thing well. It's a whole nother set of skills. So we worked a lot of problems. I was a good soundboard for him. And he said having a coach to navigate these obstacles, mostly up here, they've been invaluable. All right, Joe Consiglio, FSI, Contracting, Texas. This guy's interesting. He would tell you that he's not a salesperson. He would tell you that he doesn't sell anything. And what was neat was he would just take people out to dinner, and he would actually just talk them to death, and he was a professional visitor. And he said, I've developed a stronger understanding of how to sell. He would go and take people out to dinner, but he would never ask for the business. So he's more confident, knowledgeable, and he said if you consider coaching, I'd highly recommend it. Now, what's involved in the coaching program? We have one-on-one coaching calls. If you're in Keller Williams, I mean, you're no stranger to what coaching actually is. Coaching, for a lot of you guys, has been group coaching. We don't do group coaching. We do one-on-one, and we actually match you with your coach. It's like tender for your coach. we give you an assessment, and when you have this assessment, you get somebody that speaks your language, the way that you like to be spoken to. That way they can hold you accountable. That's the whole point, right? So you meet twice a month, but you talk to your coach a lot more than that. We have 75, 100 plus supplemental modules now, online learning videos that get sent to you every day in between your coaching calls, and then critical success factors. This is my favorite part. Critical success factors, this is actually the roadmap of how you get to your goal, okay? This is, I have a goal. I'm going to reverse engineer that goal into the steps that I need to take to get there, and we track that for you. Now, how do I know this is for me? Number one, can you be coachable? Ask yourself this question. Can I actually listen to somebody who knows what they're talking about, has been there, right? Can I actually be coachable? Number two, can I be committed? We have a 12-month program. It's not forever, but people stay in our coaching program for years and years because the first 12 months were so great. They saw so much more in their income. They continue to see growth, so they stay in a program. And then lastly, am I willing to change? Am I willing to actually do the things that I need to do on the front end that's different than what I've been doing? Because if I'm not willing to change, but I say that I am, a lot of people say they are, then if I'm not, then what's actually going to change? What's the definition of insanity? Yeah, exactly. I don't know about you, but there's a lot of insane people in real estate. So who here is at least open-minded to what coaching looks like? Let's go. So at this point, I'm going to bring your fearless leader back up here. Here we go.
I didn't know I was going to make a slide. Did you guys get some nuggets today from Mr. John? Y'all give it up for John. Hey, I want 5 ahas. I know there was a couple of given in the room, but I want 5 ahas. So who's first? And if you make eye contact with me, I'll just come to you. Who's first? Oh, Megan, you just made eye contact. Give us an aha, Megan.
Take action now. So just getting in there, doing it, whether you feel like it or not, just, killing the negatives and just going straight for the positives.
Love that. Take action now. Another aha. Yes, Winnie.
The clasp. I like the way he explained out clasp. That was my favorite.
Reminded me of a Kellerism, right? How we have all these Kellerisms class. There was
Yep.
a whole chart to it. 3 more. We've got 2 down. Who's giving an aha?
Yeah, text me. Okay.
Wendy, give us an aha.
Yes.
What's your aha?
I got a giveaway, so don't leave.
Gosh, Jay. I know. I did take notes. I don't know. Quit being negative to yourself and wake up with a good attitude.
That's good.
Okay. Self-talk, right? 2 more. Yes, ma'am, Miss Casey. Okay, go.
Don't let them get stuck in the maybe mud.
Maybe mud. That's
There we
good.
go.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, one more. One more aha. I'm coming to the side of the room. Yes, ma'am, Miss Saban.
For your purpose to be bigger than your paycheck.
That goes all around with the big why, right? When we know our big why we're doing what we're doing, success always follows. Coaching. I have been in this role 10 years this year and got into coaching 10 years ago. If I were to go back into production tomorrow, the first thing I would do would be hire a coach. Rachel, I'm standing in front. I know you've got a coach. What does coaching mean to you? What does it do for you and your business?
The number one thing is accountability.
It's sort of like a weight loss program, right? When we sign up with Weight Watchers and we go, we're more accountable. It's that accountability piece, right? So, yes, so John has something very exciting to talk about right now. So y'all give it up for John one more time.
All right.
He texted me this morning and he said, "Pray for me. I'm in Atlanta traffic. I hope I get there in time." Right?
Please pray. I need any prayer. I'll take it all.
Yes.
So last thing, I'll land the plane with a couple of things, guys. Don't forget, as you heard this today, bless your friends. Bless the people in your sphere. I work on referral only. So, but the first thing I'll say is everybody in this room falls under one of 3 categories. You're either a 1, you're a 2, or a 3. And I want everybody in this room to text me what you are. 1 is somebody who's like, yeah, I love coaching. I need a coach. I want a coach. Let's talk about having a coach. All right. Number 2 is I just have some questions. I'm special. I ask a lot of questions. I want to figure this thing out. I got to get the details. And I think it feels good. I want to get a coach. Text me if you're a 2. And a 3, text me if you're a 3, if you're like, man, this was great, but I've got it all figured out. I don't need no stinking coach. So that's okay too. So text me a 1, a 2, or 3, whatever you are. And then, so like I said, we work with a lot of different companies, insurance, finance, mortgage. I'm doing a workshop tomorrow for a Banker's Life in Greenville. Real estate, automotive, home services, you name it, solar, roofing. You guys probably know a ton of people